Morning out there. So the power was expected to be shut off last night, and for whatever reason, it was not. They kept talking about winds here in the East Bay, especially in the East Bay Hills, and haven't seen any so far. So that's the good news, is that they did not, at least, in some areas, I think there's like 1 million people that are that are without power right now. Mostly in like the Santa Rosa area, San Rafael over there in Napa. So they're going to be heavily affected again. But in San Francisco, in the East Bay area, some areas were turned off, but not as many as we thought, not as many as we expected. And it gets, there's a few things here, a few questions, but I think the first one is, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? So, I know a lot of people are mad at PG&E, you're frustrated with them, and I can understand that when you're losing power and everything. But, got some heavy traffic up here too. I'm just making my way through the East Bay now, and all the power is on, but yeah, there's some lots of traffic areas. So, but no wind. I'm not really seeing any of this wind. And we were watching or checking out the forecast and all that, and everything is like there's no wind. Nobody's talking about any wind or anything like that, except for PG&E. Now, in certain areas, yeah, there is, and I guess for some areas it's not necessarily. It's where the feed lines are, so that's where some of the problems were coming in. But yeah, heading up on some traffic here now. But I think one of the main things that I hope that this helps people understand is, make fun of preppers and survivalists and all that stuff, but we're in earthquake country here, so we need to be ready. And a lot of the stuff that they were telling us to be ready for, and many people is still in California, you need to be ready 5 to 7 days worth of food and water. A lot of people don't have that. And it's not just about you, for your family, for your neighbors. Preppers don't have to be hoarders. So that's another thing too. But we need to be ready no matter what. So I'm hoping that this will help people understand how important it really is, because there are some places, some stores that look like that scene from Gray State, where it's just like the lady goes into the grocery store and there's nothing there. There's nothing in those shelves. That's what a lot of people are facing. And I walked into Home Depot just to see what they had, and man, they didn't really have much. No. I think I bought the last flashlight that they had in store, which is crazy for this area. But we need to be ready. Have candles. Have camping stuff. Anybody who goes camping, you probably got some good stuff from a little propane tank. A generator is definitely one of the best things that you can have. A car battery, something like that, an extra battery, because then you can still power most things with that. But food and water, man, without that, you're gonna be dependent on your local government. And I don't know about you, but in California, that's not something that you want to do. So add this to the list of different things that we need to be ready for, to be prepared for, and this is a big one. But earthquakes, this is all earthquake stuff. So if you're prepared for an earthquake, chances are you're gonna be ready for something like this. So doing a lot of praying, and like I said, we were expecting the power to go out last night, and thankfully it never did. Personally, I'm not really mad at AT&T, at PG&E for anything. They took the necessary steps, and like I said, me personally, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now, the warnings and all that stuff were good, and of course, if they didn't give us any warnings and then shut everything off, people be pissed off at that too. So, but the people who are without power and who are without food and water and everything, pray for those people now. They really need, they're really going to need help. And like I said, it's not just about preparing for me, or for my family and my friends, also trying to think about what we can do to help the surrounding area. And if everybody kind of can help their surrounding area, then you can avoid a lot of things like riots and crime. Basically, that's one of the things we were also worrying about, especially in San Francisco and Oakland and Richmond and Antioch and other places too that are going without power, and I guess in some cases without water, the possibility, because the flow of to make the water flow takes power and all that good stuff. So you want to be ready. It's better to be safe than to be sorry, and it's important, I would say, to have, if you can, have 2 weeks worth. And but yeah, in one of the grocery stores that my sister sent me this photo of, one of the grocery stores, local grocery stores here, and they, like all the water, not all the water, but a lot of the water was just gone. The shelves were cleared. So that's something to take seriously. Don't take it lightly. And it looks like everything is dying down now. Like I said, I don't feel any wind here. We're in massive traffic, but I don't feel any wind. But, I'd still try to make sure you have some cash if you can. Always good to just have some cash somewhere. We keep ours in a safe. Obviously you want ammo, you want guns. These would be the times that you would really, really need them. So I hope everybody's being safe, especially in California. Let's stay tuned and see what happens. Let's see what comes out of all of this. But we listened all last night, waiting for the power to go off in one of the biggest states. And this state is just so corrupt, and it's just so backwards, and there's so many problems. And I was listening to KSFO, and they were making some really good points, and some callers were calling in making really good points too. And the host, Brian Sussman, I think his name is, he was basically blaming the environmentalists first and foremost, for the whole Paradise thing and for all of that stuff that happened and created fires. They had I think on 740 KCBS, which is like an all news station, which is a good one. If something like this happens, KCBS 740 AM 106.9 FM, 2 good channels to listen to, because it's just constant news. Every 15 minutes to give you traffic, weather, all that stuff. And so they were covering this whole power outage thing and the different areas, and they had a fire chief on, because it's like the fire department, even the local fire department, you see a lot more firefighters than normal. I was going to talk to my dad later and maybe get some tips about that, and see if he, because he still has friends and everything in the fire department. A lot of them are dying now from different types of cancers, because riding around in those fire trucks with those freaking all the chemicals and everything, and it's just really sad. And nobody's really talking about that. So I hope to talk to him more about that stuff, and not create a conspiracy, but if there is one, it's laziness and just, it's just crazy. But you have a lot of people riding around in those fire trucks with these chemicals, and just coincidentally happen to get cancers. Coincidentally. So as we're sitting here in unusual traffic for even for a weekday here, So some PG&E people, you can see power lines, working next to the power lines, monitoring the power lines. The maintenance, I guess, over in the Santa Rosa area, anyways, what I was getting to with the fire chief, they were they're basically ready, and the fire chief was saying 95% of the fires are unnatural. They're unnatural. So, like, I guess that's been the whole issue. I think he mentioned arsons, but not as much as you would think. But Brian Sussman was the host of KSFO on the morning radio show, was mentioning. Here comes another PG&E. Yeah, they're all out. All the PG&E people are out. But Brian Sussman was mentioning how how the environmentalists and not cleaning up the whole brushes in these forests and all that, and all the dry wood and everything. It's just crazy. The fire chief was saying the maintenance. So no, it was a caller who called in, and the caller's husband works for PG&E, and she was saying that because a lot of people are like, well, PG&E should be testing this, they should be checking for this stuff, which they should. I guess they might do it every 5 years or so. But they were saying if they have to check for maintenance every year, that means that people are going to be without power. Like, what we're going through now is going to be normal. This is going to happen every year. We're going to go through this 5-7 days without power in one of the most quote unquote wealthiest states in the whole country. It's a shithole. It really is. And now it's a black shithole, which is the worst the worst kind. Yeah, get out of California if you can. If you can leave, might be good. Might be a good time. I know we've been thinking about it for a while. And reason after reason, it's like, man, maybe it's really time. Or we're gonna just go through this and live in some third world country, pretty much, as first world, third world, and it's all gonna look the same. But as long as you have the means, and that's why learning about prepping, talking to local preppers, you guys know who they are. The guy you probably make fun of all the time, but he's not laughing now. You're not laughing now. So it's very important to educate yourself on preparations. That's all that it really is. Prepper has become a bad word associated with the conspiracy theorists and all that. But there were helicopters last night. We heard a lot of different stuff. So okay, here's one of the power lines. So we're passing through my old home city of Castro Valley, and the first light that is out. This is the first light that I've seen that is out here. So that's what all of the traffic was for, apparently. So picture it like this on every city, everywhere. This is what it's going to be like if the power goes out here. Are people ready for that? What is it going to be like? During the daytime, it might not be too bad. I know some areas have curfews. But a lot of people, one of the other things Brian Sussman was talking about was how California, the state of California, is going to trying to use this to control PG&E, government PG&E, government power. And that's a bad idea. Whatever your view is on PG&E, and I agree, there should be some alternatives, and it's not really, I don't really like that. It's just one company. That's all you can go to. It's the same thing with everything else. Same thing with, East Bay Mud and all this stuff, man. So it's all about control, as my friend Sean Hackley would say. It's all about control. At this level, at this local level, these people in California are just drunk off their own power. They want people to be dependent on them. And how dependent are we in California? It's really bad, and it's getting worse. We're way too dependent. Way too dependent. Way too dependent here. So it looks like the traffic has eased up. This is weird. It's just odd. Heading out towards Danville, California right now. Let's see what it's like out there. Maybe Livermore later on. But yeah, watch out for, a rise in crime and all that stuff. But be ready. Have a survival knife. Have guns. Have ammo. Have things to protect yourself and to protect your family and your friends and your neighbors too, especially the elderly. The power goes out in some of these, elderly homes. What are they going to do? What's the hospital going to do? Of course, a lot of those places have their own generators. The San Francisco airport, I'm assuming, would have their own generator. They should. A lot of these places should. But if you can get your own generator, it's probably a good idea too. Two people here pulled over. It's weird. All right, we're coming up on, let's see if I can put this on up here too. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but yeah, this is another one. So no stop sign. There should be a stop sign right here. Power is out heading through Crow Canyon, passing Norris Canyon. Yeah, the power's out here over in this area. In the rural area, that's kind of weird. More in the rural areas is what we're seeing. A lot of places like that are having the power outages, and they're rural, so they're probably ready. They got their propane tanks and everything, and these are preppers without being preppers. But I'm curious to see what it's going to be like, because I was told in Danville, in San Ramon Valley, through Concord, Walnut Creek, I was told all that's, the power is going to be out. So we'll see what happens there. But curious to see what that's like. But yeah, all the power in this area is out. So in the rural areas, it looks like. So I don't know how they calculate all that, which areas here, but I don't see any wind over here. So I don't know what happened. If power lines do go down, there's a little wind. There's a little, not too much. But I guess as we head in closer to Contra Costa County, which we're about to cross that line, we'll see what it's like. But we have people in certain areas reporting, not too far away from each other. Some reporting power's off, some reporting power's back on. When the power is off, one of the other things that they're not really telling us, when the power is off, you can't just turn it back on and it comes back on. It takes days, apparently. That's why they say 5 to 7 days to be ready, because if the power goes off, you're going to be out not just for the next day, like what would normally happen with the power line. Somebody crashes into a local power line, the power's out for a couple hours, and then it comes back on. That's not the case here. We're talking days. You can go, days without food. Can't go that long without water. 72 hours or something. I don't know. But thank God this time we were ready. Maybe next time we won't be ready. Sorry about that. That always happens here. It happened here last time too. But yeah, thank God we were actually ready this time. Next time might not be so lucky. You just never know, because you get a little lax and yeah, I got cases of water. Oh, they're kind of old. They're a couple years old. Okay, we're gonna drink them, and then you got nothing. Oh, I got batteries here, no problem. And then a year or so later, you look in your survival kit that you've had for years, and there's nothing in there. So anything like camping gear, I think, get at your local store, but don't wait till the last minute, because a lot of people did, and that's what happened. Started freaking out. What are you going to do if you can't get to your local grocery store? What are you going to do if you can't get to if the gas station shut down? What are you going to do if people only start taking cash? and you don't have any cash because your debit card, your credit card isn't working. This is what they were talking about for years. This is what the preppers, what the survivalists, what Alex Jones, all those guys, this is what they were talking about for years. And this could just be a test run. Now, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So let's hope that this was, that they had good intentions. I want to believe that they had good intentions for this. And like I said, me personally, man, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'd rather have them tell me that, hey, be ready, blah, blah, blah. Power might go out for this time. I think that's good stuff. That's what we should be doing. Not just in cases like this, but in all seasons, for all seasons in California. Preparing for earthquakes will definitely help you for this. So as we're heading through Crow Canyon, we're about to hit Contra Costa, and we'll see what the power is like here, if there's any power. Who knows? But traffic not too bad here right now. Could be a lot worse. Let's see as we head in. One little traffic light looks like it's not on. So hopefully you guys can all see this here. We're about to hit one of the lights. Let's see what happens. Power's there. No, power's not there. So it's the blinking red lights. Blinking red lights, hope you know what that means. It's just like a stop sign. You come to a complete stop. So here we go, and they're all like that out here. We're heading through Bollinger Canyon right now. Crow Canyon and Bollinger Canyon, Contra Costa. San Ramon is the city, and this is what it's like. So everybody be ready, be prepared. Let's see what the wind is like. Yeah, it's a little windier here too, but not too bad. I probably should have just taken the day off here today, but it would have been a good day to take off. So we'll see. Might get to our destination and have no power. But work never stops, job never stops, and I just have this bad habit of wanting to go to work. Silly me. Alright, so yeah, here we go, passing another one, and there's a red light. Yeah, all the lights, I'll bet all the lights, all the power and everything is probably off. Over there in the corner you can see some of the workers working on, I don't know if they're PG&E or who they are, but they're definitely hard at work, trying to make sure we get the power back on. Hopefully transformer might have went down, not sure. But okay, now as we heading over here, getting closer to San Ramon, and now it looks like all the lights and everything are on, so we might be okay. So we'll keep rolling, we'll keep going, and just see how everything goes. But it's very important to be ready, to be prepared as much as possible. And I just wanted to make this, for my family, for my friends, and for everybody out there. I love you all, and I don't want to scare you. I don't want you to be scared during this time. But we need to be ready, and it's very important to be ready for something like this. And this is nothing. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a lot worse, so thank God that it's not. And I pray for everybody who it is worse for, where everything is out, all the power is out. Freeways look a little jammed up there up top, but that's usually normal too. So getting closer into the city here, it's not that bad. Gas prices, local gas station here, the lowest at the local shelf $4.29, and the highest $4.53. So that was another thing to see if the gas prices and everything were going to go up. Here comes here comes somebody heading up right behind us here. as fire and rescue. See where they're going, but people getting off of the freeway. Yeah, stay off of the freeway, especially 680 if you can. That looks like where the problem is, but alright. Heading down San Ramon Valley Boulevard, looks like all the lights, everything is on. Another firefighter. So yeah, when I see the firefighters out moving around, not a good sign. Not a good sign. So we'll see. It is a little more windier over here. Not too bad. They said 50 gusts up to like 70 miles or something like that. I mean, just some crazy numbers. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get worse here, or hopefully it's going to get better, but I just wanted to get a little update and just a little reminder for people to be ready and stay ready, and to help others be ready, stay ready. There's a lot of great websites, a lot of places that you can get your prep gear if you want to. Hopefully those companies aren't jacking up the prices either. Hopefully they're lowering the prices maybe to help people out. You never know. So those are the ones to support, are the ones that are not trying to price gouge you, which we're going to see a lot of that. Sure we are. But yeah, without food, without water, you got nothing. You got nothing. We've just entered Danville. All street lights are on, so I don't know. A little more windier over here, but we'll be heading out to Walnut Creek. I'll probably shut this down before I get to Walnut Creek, but not too many people out. I'm assuming, imagine if all of these street lights were out and everything. It'd be chaos. It could be chaos. Maybe not so much in this area. This is one of the nicer places here, but I can see there was an car accident on the freeway on 680 headed towards Walnut Creek. Lots of traffic there, so we're going to stay off of the freeway. Just take the roads all the way down. Good to know your back roads. I use Waze sometimes. Try not to, but sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's better than writing everything down, which is what I used to try to do. But anyways, that's about all. I just pray for everybody, pray for the safety, and let's see what comes out of this. Let's see what the profit margins are at the end of the year for PG&E. Let's see who gets more bonuses for taking the necessary steps. What does it cost to turn the power off? What profits are made by turning the power off? What does it cost to turn the power on? What profits are made by turning the power on? And will California push to basically take over PG&E, take over power and water, and then we'll be completely dependent on our government? Solar panels and all that stuff are very good if you have an inverter and if you have your own batteries. It's not, you can't just have solar power but be dependent on your local government too. You gotta have the inverter, you gotta have the whole thing completely off grid, or else you're still gonna find yourself in the same spot. So for now, check one more local fire station right here. And yeah, every local fire station that I've passed, I've seen more cars than I've ever seen. So I think they're beefing up the presence, which is good. Again, better to be safe than to be sorry, because we don't want something very bad to happen and we're not ready. And don't worry about if people think you're paranoid or they're gonna laugh at you for stocking up on water and food and all that. We should be doing that. We should be doing that, on a routine, regular basis. But in Danville, all the lights are on. It is windy. It's a lot windier over here. But we'll keep you posted. If anything new happens, if we get to Walnut Creek and everything is crazy, I'll try to post here. Still on that 90-day ban for my main YouTube channel. This YouTube channel that you're looking at now, I can't go live on here for 90 days. And I can stream, like replay stuff or whatever, but I cannot live stream. So it's a little confusing. Local Safeway, not too many people there. So everybody have a great day, and stay in touch, stay in tune, and we'll be back if we're needed, as long as we have power. God bless you all.